You know these guys with their...
winks and smiles.
Yeah. What about the smile?
I am smiling.
Women want to be with them, and men want to be them. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 manliest men in movies.
Stop this fight, I'll kill you.
For this list, we'll be looking at masculine figures in films that exude the perfect combination of charm, fearlessness, and testosterone, along with a healthy dose of muscles and strength.
You son of a bitch.
Also, a spoiler alert may be in order. Number 10, Michael J. Crocodile Dundee, Crocodile Dundee. The measure of a man isn't the balance of his bank account, but the length of his knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
At least it is when we're talking about rugged men from down under.
Some nitwits put 2 dunnies in here.
Growing up in the Australian outback has left Mick Dundee unconditioned to the domesticated life of the city and lets him move through the world unfazed by most things. His uncaring and courageous demeanor inadvertently attracts the eyes of various women.
You all right?
I'm always all right when I'm with you, Dundee. God, that sounds corny.
But in Mick's world, all a man needs is a piece of land to call his own and a trusty Bowie knife. Taking down alligators and swooping engaged women off their feet. It's all the same for Dundee. Number 9, Snake Plissken, Escape from New York.
I'm not a full Plissken.
Call me Snake.
Most men would be destroyed after being betrayed by their own country, but it's fairly evident that this ex-Special Forces operator is cut from a different cloth. In a war-torn era, Snake has adopted a survival instinct, which involves not trusting the government or any and all law enforcement.
Oh, you mean I can't count on you?
No.
Good.
After being incarcerated, he's sought after for his particular set of skills and offered a chance to clear his name by rescuing the president.
You go in, find the president, bring him out in 24 hours, and you're a free man.
Although still wary of the government he used to serve, Snake accepts the offer, and in the process, he proves that you don't need both eyes to shoot a gun.
Yeah, but I heard you were dead.
I am.
Number 8, Robert Rocky Balboa, the Rocky franchise. Fighters are a dime a dozen, but a real champ is born through tragedy and triumph. While less cynical, but just as iconic as Stallone's other signature role as Rambo, Rocky has served as an inspiration to many people who faced extreme odds. Introduced as a humble man from Philadelphia that's employed as the muscle by a vindictive loan shark.
You had the talent to become a good fighter, and instead of that, you became a leg breaker, some cheap second-rate loan shark.
Rocky is soon transformed into one of the best pound-for-pound fighters his sport has ever seen. Natural talent aside, Rocky's story is symbolic simply because of the man's inability to stay down, which we see time and time again throughout the film series.
You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
Number 7, Luke Hobbs, the Fast and the Furious franchise.
What's the second thing?
Stay the f*** out of my way.
If you see this diplomatic security service agent flashing his lights behind you, it would be in your best interest to pull over.
Hey, Toretto! You're under arrest.
In the world of the Fast and the Furious, Luke Hobbs is the law, and he isn't afraid to bend the rules once in a while if it means getting his man.
I ain't telling you shit. I was hoping you'd say that.
Hobbs' unfailing loyalty and sense of justice have gotten him far in his career, gaining him respect in the federal world, as well as on the streets. On any given day, the agent can be found sporting his signature Smith & Wesson.
Hey, man. Which one of these things is $1? He said something about...
It's on the house.
But we'd advise you to be more scared of the 2 guns attached to his shoulders. Number 6. Indiana Jones, the Indiana Jones franchise. Almost every woman fancies a man with a healthy sense of adventure, and no man is more well-traveled than this treasure hunter. Dr. Henry Walton Indiana Jones Jr. considers no risk too great, as long as the reward is worthy, as shown by the fact that he's battled Nazis, traversed booby-trapped ancient temples, and stared death in the face as a means to his ends.
Penitent man is humble before God.
Putting aside the adventurer's revered sense of fashion, he also arms himself with a bullwhip, which not only aids him in self-defense, but also in a whole host of versatile ways, putting him in the top percentile of men that can actually pull off carrying one. Number 5. John McClane, the Die Hard franchise.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
This hard-boiled American cop is a living testament to the saying, it's not the size that matters, it's how you use it. Well, at least when it comes to guns. John McClane may not exemplify the hyper-macho characteristics of a stereotypical action movie lead, but the character's strong-willed and often abrasive behavior put him in a league of his own.
You won't hurt me.
Oh yeah? Why not?
Because you're a policeman. There are rules for policemen.
Yeah. That's what my captain keeps telling me.
It's a wonder the detective can manage to stop an international terrorist group and rescue a building full of hostages while suffering through marriage troubles and a broken family. But he most certainly does.
Happy trails, Hans.
Plus, nobody can rock a tank top like he can.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Number 4. Maximus Decimus Meridius, Gladiator.
At my signal, unleash hell.
In the arena, a man only has his sword and his word. This gladiator uses both phenomenally well.
Are you not entertained?
After experiencing a tragedy that leaves his wife and son dead, Maximus is forced into slavery thanks to foul play by the murdered emperor's son, Commodus. Filled with sorrow and anguish, Maximus manages to expel any notion of defeat from his mind and solemnly swears revenge on the man who destroyed his life.
Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
While naturally a skilled fighter, Maximus's wins are strictly fueled by his insatiable thirst for justice, regardless of the threat to his own life. And like the big man that he is, he sticks to his values until the very end.
My name is Gladiator.
Number 3. Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Barbarian.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
If you're gonna survive a vicious world full of mystical beings and evil magic, you'd better be as hardcore as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Much like Schwarzenegger's role as Dutch in Predator,
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Conan survived a hellish reality thanks to his sheer physicality and expertise in combat. Having been enslaved for the better half of his life and trained as a gladiator, Conan uses his freedom to seek vengeance against Thulsa Doom and his band of warriors.
What is steel compared to the hand that wields it?
Fearless in his conquest, the barbarian earns his revenge by the end of the film and goes on to live out the rest of his life as a legend.
Grant me revenge.
And if you do not listen,
then to hell with you.
Number 2. James Bond, the James Bond franchise.
Bond. James Bond.
What's a man without class?
Why can't you just be a good boy and die?
You first.
Well, the world's most famous international spy has class to spare, in addition to foreign cars, beautiful women, cool gadgets, and expensive suits. However, strip Mr. Bond of all this, and what do we have? A man of extreme confidence and prowess who keeps his head about him even in the direst of circumstances.
Sorry. I'll shoot the camera first next time.
Or yourself.
Saving the world from an evil terrorist threat may have been done before, but never has a man done it with as much refinement as James Bond.
007, are you all right?
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
you go get me your number.
Be brief.
I'm looking for a transporter.
I'm listening.
This is Sparta!
Time to nut up or shut up.
Fill your hand, you son of a bitch!
Hey, where the hell you going, Shaft?
To get laid. Where the hell you going?
Number 1, The Man with No Name, the Dollars Trilogy.
You know you've got a face beautiful enough to be worth $2,000?
Yeah. But you don't look like the one who'll collect it.
He comes, he delivers some cold hard justice, he leaves. Clint Eastwood's other iconic role as Dirty Harry not only shares this way of living, but also prefers to say what's on his mind with a revolver.
But Ian, this is a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
However, the Lone Wanderer is a complete enigma to most, and while he may be known by many names, no one actually knows the cowboy's true one. He's the strong and silent type, and it's the element of mystery that surrounds the character that makes him so alluring to both men and women.
Get 3 coffins ready.
So, while we may know nothing about the Man with No Name's history, there's just no resisting the flawed but tough anti-hero with his own code of justice. Do you agree with our list? Who do you think is the manliest man of the movies?
You're one ugly motherfucker.
For more macho top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?